Alright guys, so a couple days ago I made a video about a trade that I thought the Bucks absolutely could not make if they want to stay competitive in the East for as long as possible and keep Giannis on their team, as well as win a title eventually. And that trade was to trade for Russell Westbrook, and that's been a rumor I've been hearing a lot all around Twitter, all around social media about how the Bucks should trade for Russell Westbrook, how he would put them over the top, how he would make them a title contender. I got a lot of negative comments in my replies to my video. I was rather shocked because I thought I actually laid it out pretty logically as to why it would not work. So let me reiterate a few points from that one video. First of all, if you want to get Russell Westbrook, you better be ready to pay him $40 million a year, because that's what his cost would be for the next 4 years. So, first of all, you're going to have to pay him a ton of money, which will likely result in the Bucks having to clear cap space in the way of trading Middleton, Lopez, guys who are key components of this Bucks team right now. So, to get Westbrook, you have to trade I'd say at least two of the main guys, which I would say maybe Bledsoe too. I'm not sure, but you'd have to trade a couple of the core pieces to make room for Russell Westbrook. So not only is he going to cost a whole lot, but also you're going to be losing a lot of core pieces that helped you get as far as you did last year, who helped you win 60 games and get within 2 games of the NBA Finals. Second of all, Russell Westbrook does not fit the Bucks system right now. Russell Westbrook is a career 31% three-point shooter. Russell Westbrook is historically a player that holds the ball a lot, who needs to be the number one option, and who superstars tend to not want to play with, because he is the guy. He wants to be the guy. And that's why Kevin Durant left, and that's why Paul George left, because they didn't want to play with him. He is not a presence on this Bucks team that would fit. And it doesn't make any sense to want to have him on the team, given the fact that he doesn't fit the system, given the fact that he would be a poor fit with Giannis, given the fact that he is a ball hog. You don't want that on your team. Now, I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook is a bad player by any means. I actually like watching the guy play. Russell Westbrook is a very entertaining player to watch. And when he is the number one guy on a team, his team can have success. Yes, they can. And they have had success before, of course, with Oklahoma City. And I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook, combined with other superstars, can't get far in the playoffs. But combined with the fact that not only does he not fit the Bucks team offensively, he also would probably alienate Giannis, who is a guy who is the clear number one player on this team. If Russell Westbrook wants to be the number one guy on a team, he'd have to have a guy, a superstar who is a tier below him next to him. He can't have a guy better than him on the team. And that is what Giannis would be. Giannis is a better version, a bigger, better version of Russell Westbrook, who is a more team-centric player, who is not going to stat pad for triple-doubles and such. And that's not saying that I don't like watching Russell Westbrook put up crazy amounts of triple-doubles, but you cannot deny that the guy takes possessions off to go hustle for rebounds that he doesn't need to get, or take rebounds away from guys, or force passes because he wants to try and get triple-doubles. And not to mention the fact that the guy only shoots a little over 40% from the field, which is not a good number for really any player at all. So, I mean, combine all of these factors here. He would cost a lot. He would result in the Bucks having to lose a lot of their core pieces. So where do you go if you lose some of your core pieces like that? You probably wouldn't be able to keep Hill. You probably wouldn't be able to keep Middleton or Lopez. Maybe not even Bledsoe. And of course, I would assume if the Bucks were trading for Westbrook, they would probably actually let Bledsoe go, because he's kind of a version of Russell Westbrook, but plays exceptionally better defense, and I would say is more team-oriented, even if he sometimes can be a little too hero ball-y for my tastes. But you have to pay him $40 million a year. You'd have to see a large portion of your core players leave. You'd probably be alienating Giannis, because not only does Russell Westbrook not fit the Bucks, but he's also a guy who demands the ball, who needs to be the number one option on a team, and that's not what he would be on the Milwaukee Bucks, because Giannis is the MVP, the best player in the league right now. So combining Westbrook and his mentality, which is hero ball 24/7, with what Giannis is, it doesn't work. So with all those factors in mind, Russell Westbrook to the Bucks would be a total disaster, because then you're looking at the core players leave, Giannis leaves. Now you're stuck with Westbrook's contract until 2023, which I'm sure many of you don't want to be stuck with, because Russell Westbrook, on his own, to me, with a bunch of guys who aren't superstar tier players, which is what the Bucks would essentially be after Giannis would leave and after some of our core players would get traded away or leave in free agency, then you're stuck with a team that is mediocre, that is a team that is going to be in the 6 to 8 seed range until Russell Westbrook's contract expires, which no doubt he will leave after that, or maybe even retire. I don't even know. So you're just setting up the Bucks to fail if you get Russell Westbrook. That's what's happening if you get Russell Westbrook. And I hope that you guys can finally understand this, or at least to the people who didn't seem to understand that in the original video. It's not going to happen. Westbrook is a ball hog. He is a cancerous locker room presence. He's a guy who would alienate your number one player. He is a guy who does not fit the team. He's a guy who costs $40 million. He is a guy who would likely result in a lot of the Bucks core players being traded away or leaving. It just does not work. And it would almost guarantee that the Bucks do not win a title. So there you have it. That's what I have to say on that issue. Hopefully I'm done talking about this, because hopefully it gets through to the people who seem to have rather thick skulls on this subject. But anyways, guys, though, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Oversports41512 and on Instagram, Jacob_Olber is my username. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. See you guys next time, and go Bucks.